What's going on, YouTube? This is Marco Baena here. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I'm starting a new series here. I've been really into Quora lately, and I've been answering a lot of people's questions relating to digital marketing, SEO, and all that on Quora. And I decided that since I'm already doing these Q&A type of things on Quora, I might as well use them as a topical reference for my YouTube channel itself. So with that being said, maybe every couple of days or so, I'm going to find a couple Quora answers I like that I made throughout the week, and I'm going to kind of talk about them here on YouTube to give another outlet to my thoughts on these questions and to give me some kind of things to bounce my ideas off of in terms of ranting and whatnot. So somebody asked, what are the important factors to consider in providing an SEO service? And I thought that was a pretty good question. So I replied to him saying this, because there are a lot of things you want to consider, but I kind of simplified it down to 3 things. So I said, number 1, is this SEO service a long-term solution? If it isn't, you may want to rethink this service. Most likely you will destroy your reputation and anger your clients. Remember, most people looking for SEO are not experts and are looking for someone trustworthy who isn't just trying to get their money and give them a bad service. So basically what I mean by that is the service you're doing a long-term thing, or is this just some type of quick black hat technique to get a rank and bank? Because remember, this isn't an affiliate site. This is a client potentially, and you're most likely selling the service as some type of legitimate service. Now, if it's a rank and bank thing with the black hat techniques that could get penalized at any moment, you probably want to disclose that to the buyer in your sales thread or your sales copy or your conversation in a contract you actually create for the client or whatever, to make sure that everything goes as planned. You don't want to, leave that up to interpretation and whatnot. So is it a long-term service? Is it a long-term solution? That's something to think about. Second one too is there enough profit to make the service even worth it? If you charge $1,000 a month for your SEO service, but you need to spend $800 a month plus time plus effort to execute it, it makes no sense. You'll go bankrupt trying to function at those margins. Not to mention, sorry, somebody drove past my house on a motorcycle. So I continue here saying, not to mention you will deliver a bad quality service. So that's just common sense in business in general. But a lot of digital marketers and SEOs and all that kind of forget these basic business practices. And if you're going to make some type of SEO service, you want to make sure you're making enough money to be able to put time and effort in and still have money to reinvest. You may need to buy certain links. You may need to buy certain press releases. You may need to have certain softwares, etc. So you need to make sure that the profit margin is good and you're not working, really, really hard just to make $50 profit, just to make $100 profit. Like, be logical with what you're doing. If your service requires $0, just time and effort, then factor in how much your time and effort per month is worth. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't take any cheap clients, because if you have a client that has a very non-competitive niche, they don't have that much money, they only have $750 a month, $500 a month or something like that, but it actually only takes you 2-3 hours of work, of focused work per month, and you bill it about $100 an hour per your work, you can make that work out in terms of the margins, right? But if it's a competitive client, it's going to take a lot of work and effort. Don't even bother unless they have a proper budget for what they're doing. So that's something else to consider right there. And the third thing I let him know was, how many websites has your service worked for so far? Your service should already be getting results. Your clients are not guinea pigs to test out your wild ideas with. They are people looking for results. Make sure that you can get them these results, or else you are in for a rough time doing business. Now, this is just some advice that I think a lot of people need right here, is that these clients, you may test things while you're working with them, but they're not guinea pigs, remember. So you want to make sure the service that you're giving on their website is something that already works. And by that I mean you should probably have affiliate websites that you test SEO on before you even use that technique on a client side. For instance, I test all my techniques on affiliate websites before I ever use it on a client website, because you don't want to damage your client's website doing something that is kind of weird or could get penalized. Not to mention, you should just be doing things as clean as possible anyways. Now, I'm not going to say completely white hat, because people have their own techniques and whatnot, but if what you're doing you wouldn't even risk on your own site, don't risk it on a client site and use it as a service. In my opinion, that's just shady. And you have to remember, these people are not experts. They're looking for results. So it gives a bad reputation to the industry. And not to mention, you are kind of just taking advantage of somebody who's not educated on the subject at all. It would be like if you went to get a surgery from a doctor and he was trying a new surgical technique on you with his first attempt. You wouldn't like that. So I suggest you treat people with respect in that same exact way. So that's my answer to that question. I'm going to be getting more Q&As through Quora and whatnot. If you guys have topics you want me to riff on, you can feel free to put them in the comment section below. And if I find it interesting, I'll make it a YouTube video, because I'm trying to get new content for my YouTube anyways. If you like this series and you like this video at all and it was helpful, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. Comment your thoughts below as always. This is Marco Bine, and I'm out. Peace.